all right, what the hell are we talking about here, bro? He was saying that like hydrogen 3 is like the future of
Helium
energy.
3.
Helium 3, thank you. And like it'll like cool down our quantum systems enough and it'll power so like for thousands of years the amount and they're like you said this to me before in like this space. I don't know if you said on the
Oh
podcast
yeah,
or it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
after the podcast. Remember that? You're like, no matter what we
Mining.
do, we're just gonna be mining,
Yeah.
right? And you're just like, what? I was like, yeah, I guess we would be like mining asteroids and stuff. And then like China's been doing it for 2 years. You're like, oh yeah, we that is what we do. We just go like to another place, extract resources, and send it back.
But it's
But
not
then
new.
in
It's not even new
yeah.
about the moon. They've been talking about helium 3 or
Oh
possibly
really?
mining on the moon. Yeah, yeah. I looked it up. I wanted to just confirm like is this like the first time? No, it's like it's been talked about since they went to the moon.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm wondering like who set up the bases
But it's
to
not
try
that
to use
easy.
this?
It's not that easy just to mine. Like it's not like what is the process of mining helium 3, right?
Yeah.
And like they're still like studying it or whatever, but like uh it's like actually setting up like a big rig, like heating it up to actually melt out the
Right.
helium
So how the
3.
hell are you doing this? And
Yeah,
we're
I
not
don't
seeing
think.
it?
Well, I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that that's what's happening. Um.
Oh, okay. You're saying he's blowing out of proportion.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And it's not like I don't think it's just China that's doing it. If like there's other like
Oh wait,
something
wait.
about.
Did you see the full thing that
I
I
didn't
sent
see the
you?
video. I didn't see the full video. No, I was looking it up as of helium 3, just as reports. So ESA had talked about it, which is the European Space Agency, and like
Yeah.
recent with India's thing and talking about like mining has been talked about, and there's private companies that are researching it and what they can do within fusion reactors for helium 3.
Okay. So what? That's good to know. Good context because like what he was saying is that through the open source, like you can just read it that they are sending like extracting, like they are sending helium 3.
Yeah, but I
Was
don't
it?
know how. Yeah, but they haven't sent anything back. It's not like extracting. Um, you can like it's like you know how they were getting materials from the Mars, but the capsule is still in Mars. It's not been brought back.
Oh, okay. So like they send something there, they've collected it, but they're like, all right, now our next problem is bring it back.
Sure,
Okay, interesting. Yeah,
but
I
it's not
feel like it
like
would.
it. You need
Yeah,
like you need to be like digging like huge mines in order to actually
that's
get
what I'm thinking
things out
too.
of it
That's why I
too.
was
It's
like,
not. It's not
I
like
was
I
like,
think
nobody
people
saw
would.
this happening.
Yeah, people would know if something was happening. If you're sending
That
out big like shipments of machinery and equipment to build that.
okay, that's what I'm thinking too. But he is the guy's background is he's
Hmm.
also in the space like mining thing. He's trying to set it up for America. So it's like, are
It's
you
like
blowing this out of proportion,
no,
or
no,
like,
no.
or did you like, not you, him?
No, no, no. I know, I know. I'm saying he could be saying these things to get investments into his own company. To here, we should be doing this. This is what's happening. We should be looking forward, like for a future endeavors into
Yeah.
helium 3 mining, which is fine. Yeah, I think that's what it is. If anything, if he's
But
involved in that industry.
he did say like he is sending it. They're like literally mining it right now and sending it back. And I was like, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I would need to see if that's like I know they sent what do you call it, like a rover and stuff, but is it
Okay.
just like what is the
Was it just
rover?
doing its thing? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just a
just
rover. Like when we think of mining, I'm thinking of like Ad Astra the movie. Like there's
yeah,
like
yeah,
bases on Mars, but like maybe yeah, it's just like a couple rovers like trying to like let's see if we can do this. Like
yeah, yeah.
doing
No,
like
no.
dig a little
Again,
bit,
it's like the biggest thing I can give it is probably it's as like what we've done on Mars is like taking up samples. Now, how do we bring those samples here to do other tests with it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. So it's not like he might be overinflating the
I
situation. It
think
could just be
it
like a bunch of
seems
little
like it.
rovers.
Yeah.
But once they've cracked the code, it's like, okay, that's the next thing. But like, okay, so we've made these treaties to not have wars in space, right? Like that was the thing. Like the
Did we do that?
UN said, like I think he said
But
that.
I mean, America also broke the UN. It's like
That's true too. You're
it
right. You're
doesn't really
right.
matter.
You're right. You're right. You're right. But I think
They even said
I think
that,
he did say that.
yeah, in the report, what I also read was that I don't know if you mine enough of the moon, and the it may affect
You
Earth,
change like
right?
the weight. Yeah, yeah,
Change
yeah,
like
like
the
the
weight
weight
and
of it.
stuff. So like in that, the European one, they were talking about like there's an abundance of helium-3 on Jupiter, and
So you just go to
you
Jupiter and
just
then
take up
like
the
bring it
gas
back.
from yeah. It's
Yeah.
already I
Okay.
guess it would be already a gas, right? So here it's like you'd have to melt at like 600, 700 degrees to get the helium out, or helium-3 out from the
That's
moon.
crazy. Well, one thing he said too was like that that like we have the capability to have like infinite energy right now and to send someone from like one part of our earth to the other part in like seconds. He didn't explain how, but he's like, we do have that capability. And I'm just like, okay, what are you hiding from us tech wise? You know what I mean? Like we talked about all the problems. So like
Hmm.
the reason why I wanted to bring up the whole problem thing. Can you hear Athena on your end?
No.
Her like whining? Oh, thank God. All right, cool. She's like whining behind my back. Um, so like you're hearing all of this craziness that's going on, and like if you examine it, the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I think that we have the solution. We're just not moving on the solution. It's like this guy said we had the. All right, the thing that he said, which is so fascinating, is like we're slowly getting rid of wires, and we think that electricity is wire based, but we know that it's not.
Hmm.
Like to send like to power things, you need like wires, right? And he was saying that like with what they know through physics now and electrical conduction or whatever, it's like you actually don't need wires. And we're gonna move into that space soon because you're already seeing like Starlink sending like satellite Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Wi-Fi. Yeah.
So he's Wi-Fi. So he's saying that in the future, or like they have a theory of how they can build this. It's like you'll be using Starlink to send electricity. It won't be Starlink, but like the same
Yeah, I
concept of
understand.
like
Hmm.
satellites will send electricity to certain places.
Hmm.
And the guy grew up in Africa, like in like he's seen like huts and stuff, and then he moved to America later, and he's like, the first thing I thought was like we could use this for those huts
Hmm.
in Africa because like the big problem there is they don't have energy because you have no infrastructure. But if
Hmm.
you can send electricity wirelessly, it's like, oh, you can power that whole place.
Right.
And it's like, why not, bro?
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and like with all this being said, you have like, ooh, actually, theory, theory. Um, well, it's not technically my theory. I've heard somebody say this, but they said it in passing, and now I'm like, oh, maybe this is actually what is happening. They're It's not the aliens they're afraid of, it's the new tech. That's what they all said, right?
Hmm.
Because this is like game changing tech that'll like change the world. Aliens have been around for all like they've just been around. Like you read into the ancient texts, they're like they've been here, bro. They're just not. They're minding their own business. They're just a part of nature that like doesn't really interact with. It's like the shark in the ocean. You're not going to go see a shark unless you go to the ocean. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But like with that, it's like they just don't know how to unravel the tech that they have, and by releasing this medicine drip of like UAPs, then they can like acclimate the public into like, yeah, we also reverse engineered this through them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And like it's a slow ground because if you just came out with like, yeah, we have wireless electricity, you're like, what? We have anti-gravitics. You're like, what? Where'd you get that? It's like, well, we took it from this UFO. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That could be actually the big picture because like Lou Elizondo was on Dr. Phil, and when I saw that, I was like, dude, Dr. Phil's like that's a big name, bro. That's a big sober name, is what I mean. It's like our parents know Dr. Phil. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, Dr. Phil's crazy, right? So like if you watch the episode with Lou Elizondo on Dr. Phil, he fully said he's like Dr. Phil asked him point blank, like, do we have reverse engineered craft and bodies? And Lou Elizondo was like, yes. So like, okay, you just said it, bro, on Dr. Phil.
Hmm.
So like, what's the next game plan here? Like, why did you say that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not to scare the public. I think it's so that they're like, oh, cool, okay, cool. And then you're like, oh, we have anti-gravitics. You're like, well, how did you come up with this hover car? And it's like, well, we trace it back to like UFO crash landing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
What do you think?
No, I don't. I
Like,
don't think that they would need to do that. I think the same way that we how did you figure out Wi-Fi? How did you figure out, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, oh, we figured that out.
Mm. It's well, this also goes into the patent technology. So like it's the unfair competitive advantage where if you give the craft to like General Electric, but you didn't give it to like Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then Microsoft's gonna be like, bro, we didn't get that. It's supposed to be like an
I
even playing
understand that.
field,
Yeah, I
right?
understand that. Sure.
So that's the other aspect of it where it's like we need to roll this out and we need to have like because they keep talking about a truth and reconciliation
Mm-hmm.
for this thing. Like that's what Lou Elizondo said. He's like, we need a truth and reconciliation where we just bring it out and nobody gets in trouble. We just admit what we know. And I'm like, why would you do that? Except for the patents,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's like you won't get in trouble for knowing what other people, and then like you can't be sued, right? Because I think that's the real. I think the real issue here is always economics, you know, because economics is what runs our world. It's going to break everything if we mess with our economic system. But I feel like our economic system right now is breaking. That's why I was like, let's talk about the house crisis. Let's talk about like the food, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because it all hinges on that. But it really feels like it's breaking now, you know. And what's our out? I'm saying our out. The only thing I could see is the one way out is like new tech. You're like, hey guys, greenhouses
Mm-hmm.
that are powered forever
Yeah.
off of clean energy, and you have like groceries that are super cheap now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you have to build a utopia. Oh, and she's gone. You have to build a utopia because like we're hurting. You know?